Exploring the Philippines' pristine beaches is often at the top of the list when planning a trip to the country. However, beyond our crystal waters and fine powdery sands, our tropical nation is also home to various cultural and natural attractions that are rich in history. 9 of the best tourist spots in the Philippines have been recognized internationally and are officially included in the UNESCO World Heritage Sites list. Visiting all these sites will give you a deeper look into the heritage of the different regions and will take you on a trip across the Philippine Islands. On this video, we will be digging into the historical and natural value of each of these 9 sites and where you can find them during your trip to the Philippines. So sit back, relax, and enjoy as we are going to take you in the 9 jaw-dropping World Heritage Sites in the Philippines. Our first stop, Mount Hamiguitan Range Wildlife Sanctuary.
This mountain in Davao Oriental is home to 1,380 threatened and endemic species of animals and plants. One exciting thing about visiting Mount Hamiguitan Range Wildlife Sanctuary is the sightseeing of the animals such as the Philippine eagle, the fox, tarsier, and many more. Mount Hamiguitan Range Wildlife Sanctuary is an important environmental treasure and the only heritage site in the region. According to UNESCO, among the top reasons for Mount Hamiguitan Range Wildlife Sanctuary's inclusion in the list of heritage sites in the Philippines is because it represents a complete, substantially intact and highly diverse mountain ecosystem in a significant biogeographic region of the Philippines.
Second stop, Church of Santo Tomas de Villanueva.
Santo Tomas de Villanueva Parish Church, also known as the Miagao Church. It was just in 1786 when the construction of Santo Tomas de Villanueva Church, Iloilo started and completed in 1797. Santo Tomas de Villanueva Church is one of the most visited tourist attractions in Miagao, Iloilo. More than a place of worship, it is also called a fortress against Muslim raiders. Hence, it is called the Baroque Fortress Church. Before Miagao Church, there were 2 churches that were built in town, but both were burned by Muslim raiders and pirates. For centuries, since 1797, Santo Tomas de Villanueva Parish Church or the Miagao Church was not only a garrison of the Christian faith, but also an indomitable refuge for citizens during the Spanish-Moro Wars. Battle after battles, its walls stood steadfast like a San Cristobal under the weight of centuries-long struggle. During the revolution in 1898, the church was destroyed and subsequently rebuilt the same year. In 1910, the church was damaged by fire. It was designed with the Baroque features, with touches of Chinese Filipino style, imposing designs, ornaments, motifs, making it one-of-a-kind church. That's why the Santo Tomas de Villanueva Parish Church architecture is among the Philippines' most beautiful architectural gems. In 1974, Santo Tomas de Villanueva Church, known as Miagao Church, Iloilo was declared as a national landmark. And in 1993, it was listed by the UNESCO as a World Heritage Site because it exhibits various architectural designs with the predominance of Baroque architecture and local artistic elements. Its old structure history and its UNESCO World Heritage mark make it a treasure not only for Iloilo but for the Philippines. The church foundation runs 20 feet deep into the ground, and its 1.5 meter thick walls are reinforced with 4 meter thick buttresses and the town of Miagao was constantly invaded by the Moors for almost a decade in the mid-18th century. The church had to be moved to a more secure place, so a new fortified church was then built at the highest point of the town to guard against the potential invaders. But what makes this church even more special is its unique ochre color. Throughout the years, it has gone through many wars and revolutions, fires and earthquakes, and survived. Santo Tomas de Villanueva Parish Church or Miagao Church also stand as a living legacy of the culture and way of life of the people of Miagao centuries ago.
Our third stop, Church of Nuestra Señora de la Asuncion.
The Church of Our Lady of the Assumption, or Nuestra Señora de la Asuncion, commonly known as the Santa Maria Church, is the parish church of Santa Maria in Ilocos Province, Philippines. The church was designated as a UNESCO World Heritage Site on December 11, 1993 as part of the Baroque Churches of the Philippines, a collection of 4 Baroque Spanish-era churches. The Santa Maria Church is an attraction to tourists and Catholics in Ilocos Sur. It is a reminder of the 4 centuries of Spanish domination of that area and a unique structure with a diversified architectural design of bricks and mortar. It was built on top of a hill and looked out on a citadel as well as a religious center during the early administration of the region by priors and soldiers of Spain. This parish of Santa Maria started as a chapel of Ace or Visita of Nabarcan, its neighboring town to the north, in 1567. The influx of the settlers after the full conquest of the Ilocos region by the Spaniards greatly increased the population of Santa Maria. The chapel became an independent ministry in 1769 and was dedicated to the Virgin Mary under the title of Our Lady of the Assumption. Besides economic progress, evangelical missions were expanded. The mission of Santa Maria, located on a narrow flat plain between the sea and the central mountain range of Luzon, close to the interior settlements, made Santa Maria as the center of both the religious and commercial activities. According to the legend, before the Santa Maria Church was built on its present site, the Virgin Mary was enshrined at a different place called Bulala. The frequent disappearance of the Virgin Mary from her previous place of enthronement, only to be found perched on a guava tree that grew where the present church is located, had led the townspeople to move the church to its present location. The church was listed as one of the most endangered monuments in the world by World Monuments Fund in the 2010 World Monument Watch, along with the rice terraces of the Philippines, Cordilleras, and San Sebastian Church, Manila. Unlike other town churches in the Philippines, which conform to the Spanish tradition of setting them on the central plaza, the church and convent of Our Lady of the Assumption in the Santa Maria are situated on a hill surrounded by a defensive wall on all sides like a fortress. The church is reached by climbing an 85-step stairway of granite rock. The grand flight stairway leads to a courtyard in front of the church doorway, where a sweeping view of the lower plains in the town of Santa Maria is beheld.
Fourth, Paoay Church.
Paoay Church. The St. Agustin Church, or Iglesia de San Agustin de Paoay, commonly known as the Paoay Church, is a Roman Catholic church in the municipality of Paoay in Ilocos Norte and the Philippines. It was completed in 1710. The church is famous for its distinct architecture, highlighted by the enormous buttresses on the side and back of the building. It is declared as a national cultural treasure by the Philippine government in 1973 and a UNESCO World Heritage Site under the collective group of Baroque churches of the Philippines in 1993.
Our fifth stop, Church of San Agustin in Manila.
San Agustin Church, also known as the Immaculate Conception Parish. A Roman Catholic church located in the city of Intramuros in Manila. This is also known to be the oldest church made up of stone in the country. It was built during the Spanish Golden Era to spread Catholicism. The massive facade hides things of huge cultural and historical importance. The church is a part of the 4 Baroque churches of the Philippines. It is like a paradise for the admirers of ancient culture and history. It is listed as one of the World Heritage Site by UNESCO since it was inspired by a European Baroque-style architecture. San Agustin's Museum is a house of a precious collection of Spanish artifacts, statues, church ornaments, and paintings. Also, the church stands tough after surviving 2 fires, several earthquakes, World War, and had to rebuild 3 times. However, the official completion of the church was declared in 1607. Still, it remains as the oldest church in the Philippines.
Our sixth stop, Historic City of Vigan.
The historic city of Vigan. The historic town of Vigan was established in the late 1500s during the Spanish domination of the Philippines and still has the same look and feels hundreds of years later. The well-preserved city is the capital of Ilocos Sur in the northwest of Luzon. UNESCO enlisted Vigan as the World Heritage Site on December 2, 1999, covers a total area of 17.25 hectares. Vigan is the most intact example in Asia of a planned Spanish colonial town. Its architecture, cobblestone street, horse-drawn carriages, and rustic mansions reflect a rich Spanish influence that have no parallel anywhere in East and Southeast Asia. The area contains the historic footprints of the entire town and consists of a total of 233 historic buildings tightly strung along a grid of 25 streets.
Our seventh stop, Puerto Princesa Subterranean River National Park.
Puerto Princesa Subterranean River National Park is one of the world's most impressive cave systems, featuring spectacular limestone karst landscapes, pristine natural beauty, and intact old-growth forest and distinctive wildlife. It is located in the mid-western coast of Palawan. The property, comprising an area of approximately 22,202 hectares, contains an 8.2 km long underground river and said to be among the longest in the world. The remarkable feature of the underground river is that it flows directly into the sea, with its brackish lower half subjected to a tidal influence, distinguishing it as a significant natural phenomenon. The river's cavern presented remarkable, eye-catching rock with formations. The property contains a full mountain-to-sea ecosystem which provide a significant habitat for biodiversity, conservation, and protect the most intact natural wildlife species.
Our eighth stop, Tubbataha Reefs Natural Park.
Tubbataha Reef. Tubbataha Reef lies in the middle of the Sulu Sea, approximately 50 kilometers southeast of Puerto Princesa City in Palawan, the most western province of the Philippines. The word Tubbataha is a combination of 2 Samabaha words, tuba and taha, which together means a long reef exposed at low tide. Historically, Samabaha peoples who have a nomadic lifestyle visit the reef from time to time, although people from the islands of Arcadio and Silvio are frequent visitors of the reef. Tubbataha Reef is home to a great diversity of marine life. Whales, dolphins, sharks, turtles, and Napoleon rays are amongst the key species found here. The reef ecosystem supports over 360 species of corals, and almost 700 species of fish. The reserve also protects one of the few remaining colonies of breeding seabirds in the region. Tubbataha is reachable only by boat, a journey which takes 10 to 12 hours and is only attempted from mid-March to mid-June. This means the reef receives less pressure from fishermen in the coral reefs located closer to the population centers.
And last but not the least, rice terraces of the Philippine Cordilleras. Topping the list of the UNESCO World Heritage Sites Philippines is the Cordillera Rice Terraces that nestled in the highlands of Ifugao Province in northern Luzon that not only serve as sources of food but as popular tourist attractions. These landscapes are located in the municipalities of Banawe, Mayoyao, Hunggudan, and Kiangan, with the Banawe Rice Terraces being the most popular one. It is an outstanding example of an evolved, living cultural landscape that can be traced as far back as 2,000 years ago. As a landlocked province, Ifugao is characterized by its lush mountain ranges containing river valleys and vibrant forests. Thanks to its location and high altitude, the locals here enjoy a generally cooler atmosphere than the rest of the country, making it a more optimal place to grow crops. Recognizing this, the tribe members eventually created intricate agricultural systems which are now known as rice terraces in the Philippines. The rice terraces of the Philippine Cordilleras were named a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1995 in honor of the natives' beautiful work and their efforts to maintain and cultivate sacred traditions to this day. That's why the rice terraces of the Philippine Cordilleras are an important part of the Philippine culture and identity. It is also a living testament to the sophistication of pre-colonial Filipinos because the Cordilleras were hardly affected by colonization. Among the World Heritage Sites in the Philippines, the rice terraces of the Philippine Cordilleras have such a powerful presence that makes them one of the most outstanding places in the country. It also shows the harmony between humankind and the environment. So that's it! Have you enjoyed our trip? I hope that the recognition greatly helps you identify Filipino heritage sites that highlights our culture and the wonders of nature. But more than giving an identity, I hope it also helps in the preservation and protection of these man-made structures and natural wonders. So I hope you enjoy, and thank you for watching.